Oh, there we go. Oh, now we're live. Okay. I didn't hit the button the correct way. All right, welcome everybody to another live. It's a Sunday Fun Day live with tonight's special guest, Lowly's Off-Road and Overland. So let's all welcome Lauren.
Hello, everybody. Good to see you all. Welcome. I hope you guys had a good Sunday. Let's get rolling. How are you doing, my friend?
I'm doing good. And how are you doing tonight?
You know, living the life, right?
Yeah. All right. So the stream should be live up on
It
up
is,
on
yeah.
Lowly's, and it's up live on mine. Cool.
Yeah, so we are all good.
Yeah, we're doing good. I just screwed up by mishitting the um, live button. They've changed it so you have to hit it twice, apparently, which I wasn't aware of, and I only hit it once. So, all right.
Badge, we fix all. Thank you. How are you, my friend? Good to see you on the stream. We really appreciate the love.
Yeah, Badge. I've known Badge for a few years. So he used to go down to the van builds down in Parker, Arizona. So I met Badge quite a few years ago. If you guys have any questions, please ask your questions in the comments in all caps, so it's easier for us to read. And we each have our respective moderators. So if the moderators could please make sure that we keep the trolls out of the chat, that would be greatly appreciated. So I wanted to do this live because I wanted to talk with Lauren and kind of pick his brain about how he got into doing the whole overlanding. He originally had a bus that he started out in, and now I'm sure most of you know he drives a four-wheel drive diesel Ambo that runs on waste vegetable oil. That's another thing that intrigued me about his channel is because I've been running waste vegetable oil in my diesels for 25 years. So let us know, how did you get started, and what got you into wanting to do the whole overlanding?
Well, this is a little bit of a long story. I started probably around 14, 15 years ago. And how I got into it was with my Nissan. It was my first trip down to Arizona. And we went to that overland rally at Flagstaff. So when I went there, I seen, like we had the rooftop tent and, sleeping all the stuff inside the Nissan and all this and that. And that's when I got the idea, well, maybe I should build a bus. So makes life easier instead of, climbing up into the rooftop tents and, coming down in the middle of the night, helping the wife to, go use the washroom and stuff like that, right? So once I got home, we looked, we searched, and we actually find an old school bus, and then the process started. And the rest, it's history. If you guys want to know more about, just ask, or BNR, you can ask, and I can tell you exactly more about that.
And how do you like your Ambo compared to your bus? What are some of the differences that advantages one versus the other?
Well, let me tell you, I love the Ambo. I love the bus, but 100% I love the Ambo. It's a big difference. So the bus was good when you was just doing like pavement and long trips and stuff like that. But it was really difficult, when you was in like big cities, like down in California. It's harder to maneuver, to park. You park somewhere in Walmart, somebody parks beside you, you're gonna be stuck in there till they leave, because the turning radius, it's really hard because it was really long, right? So that's when I decided to get the Ambo. Now the Ambo, I drive it daily most of the time. It's easy, simple. You can go to Costco, you can go to Walmart, you can back in, you can take one spot, no problem, easy peasy. It's much comfortable. Size wise, it's a little bit more restricted than the bus used to be, but then again, most of the time you're sleeping in there, you're not dancing, right? So that's the ticket.
CFQC says, hi, is it better to buy a two-wheel drive van and convert it into four-wheel drive, or directly buy a four-wheel drive van?
Well, it all depends of the price, right?
Correct.
Because you can buy a two-wheel drive, you know, like the way I did it, and I paid $5,000 for the ambo. That's what I paid for back 4 years ago, you know. And if you're capable to do some fab work and some mechanical work, you know, you can build it your own, because you can buy kits and you can just put it together yourself, or you can just buy bits and pieces and you build the rest yourself, and it's way cheaper. Now, if you buy a van and you take it to somebody to convert it for you, like U-Joint or, you know, other places down in the States, or, you know, some up here too, well, it's going to cost you big money. You're going to spend at least $28,000.
Yeah.
So if you can find a van that has already converted for 15, 20, 25, 30,000, might as well buy it, because then you don't have to wait that lag time. You know, you buy a van and then you decide, okay, I want to go with U-Joint, or I'm going to send the van to them. I let them to do it. If you are not able to do it yourself, that just, you're going to lose at least 6 to 7 months, you know, doing the process, right?
Correct. Now, aside to that, if any of you watch Van City Van Life, then you know that his van is a two-wheel drive that he did a Weldtech grocery getter lift on, and he goes a lot of places backcountry and has never needed four-wheel drive. So the four-wheel drive is nice to have if you're going to be driving in a lot of inclement weather, where you need the extra traction. But if you're going off-road, if you have a rear end that has some kind of a locker or posi rear end, two-wheel drive with a lift, you can do a lot of off-roading and backcountry stuff like he does without spending the exorbitant amount to either buy a four-wheel drive or convert a four-wheel drive. Because as Lauren said, like U-Joint off-road, it's about 20 grand to convert to four-wheel drive. Now, yes, all the components are new, they're under warranty and all that kind of stuff, but there's a lot of times you don't really need four-wheel drive. If you have the right tires and the right gearing in the drivetrain, two-wheel drive will get you most places you're going to ever want to go.
Absolutely, I agree with you. I mean, you know, four-wheel drive can just get you in deeper trouble. That's
correct.
What I tell people, you know. The four-wheel drive in a bus or in an ambo like mine, it's not designed to really go off-roading, you know, because it's too heavy of a vehicle. But it's designed like if you go in a backcountry and it's a steep, sandy or gravelly road, obviously it's going to help, you know, climbing up, you know, instead of spinning out. But like you said, if you have a limited sleep or a locker in the rear, you're doing fine. You can go anywhere. And the most important thing, when you are in the backcountry and you want to have good grip, you have to deflate a little bit.
Yes.
You know?
Yes.
That's very important, you know.
Yeah. And deflating the tires, you need to have the right tire that can handle being deflated. Absolutely. You need to have the right rim that's not going to pop off the rim. The tire's not going to pop off the bead so that you lose all your air and you're stranded. So you have to. Four-wheel drive is not a get out of jail free card, let's say, for off-roading, because I know plenty of people that have four-wheel drive vehicles and they get stuck all the time. I've recovered many people that buy the four-wheel drive Sprinters or other four-wheel drive vehicles and they get stuck. You have to know how to drive the roads. That's key. So if you've never been off-roading and you're looking to get into doing some backcountry off-roading, find somebody that is experienced, or go to a off-road driving course. You can find those all over the place, and learn how to drive the backroads off-road correctly. And number two, if you have, like Lauren and I were saying, if you have your vehicle set up right, even though it's two-wheel drive, you get the right gearing, you get a limited slip or locker in the rear end, You get the right tires, which you need some good all-terrain tires, and not all all-terrain tires are the same. I can tell you that right now. You need the right rims with those tires. So if you're going to air down, like I said, the tire doesn't pop off the bead and you lose all your air pressure. So there are things that you can do to mitigate needing to spend the 20 grand on upgrading to a four-wheel drive, or going out and spending 25 or 30 or 40 grand on a van that's already four-wheel drive. So those are some things you need to think about. As a matter of fact, I have a video coming out shortly that's going to discuss all-terrain tires and how they're not all the same, and what you need to look for if you're going to be. It doesn't matter what kind of vehicle. Every vehicle that I own, whether it's two-wheel, four-wheel, they always get the all-terrain tires first, because all-terrain tires make a huge difference. I live in a heavy snow country area. And I also live in an area where there's a lot of I do a lot of off-roading, and you need the right tires. If you don't have the right all-terrains, you can pop the sidewalls, you can have tread separation. There's all kinds of things that can happen. So you need to make sure that you have the right equipment. And like I said, not necessarily four-wheel drive. Two-wheel can get you a lot of places that you're gonna want to go. Yeah. Badge just put this up. He said, two-wheel drive, you're stuck. You can probably get out. You get stuck in a 4x4. You are. Yeah, that's very true. That's very true. So,
absolutely, I agree with you. And the people has to be aware of, like, depends what vehicle you are four-wheeling and all that, how to deflate, because in the bus you cannot go lower than like 30 psi.
Right. Correct.
On mine, because you go any lower, you're gonna pop that beat, no problem. So you have to be aware of that. So it all depends of the size of the tire, the weight of the vehicle, and then of course you deflate. You want to make sure that you also have a compressor, once you are done wheeling, so you can inflate those tires. Because if you go down to, like, let's say you're running 55 psi and you went down to like 15, 20, like I do in my Nissan, or even 10, and you come out on a highway, well, you cannot drive more than 25 miles per hour on a pavement on those rubbers, unless you inflate it. Otherwise you're gonna ruin your tires, so you have to be aware of those kind of situations. But
and
also you have to be smart when you are in the backcountry. You have to look at the situations, because most of the time people say, oh, I have a 4x4 and I think I can go there. No, you cannot go there just because you have a 4x4, because you have to know your vehicle, you have to know your skills, and you have to know all the capabilities that truck can do, right? So those are all factors people should consider,
Well, with a four-wheel drive, that's not, like I said, it's not a get out of jail free card in the backcountry, because if you have a leaf spring suspension versus a coil suspension, if you have, a four link, which a lot of people might not know what that is, but a four link versus springs versus coil, there's all different things. You're not going to get on a leaf spring suspension. You're not going to get the wheel travel you're going to have on a four link. You're not going to get the articulation. Also, when you're airing down tires, you have to be aware, because you can't make really sharp turns, because you're going to roll the truck and pop the tires off the beads. There's a lot of nuances that go into being able to off-road. So I'm gathering that since you're asking about two-wheel versus four-wheel, you probably don't have a lot of experience with four-wheel. So you need to learn the ins and outs of four-wheeling and how to do it safely in the backcountry, so you're not stranded and you don't cause damage to your vehicle. And you need to know the vehicle's limitations before going back there, because the terrain in some of those backcountry areas can change drastically and quickly, and you could find yourself in a situation where you're stuck. You could be high centered, where the vehicle's traveling over a hill, and you need to know your vehicle's breakover point, where you're going to get hung up, your approach and departure angles on the front and rear. There's a lot of nuances that go into it. So just simply going from two-wheel to four-wheel does not make you capable to go backcountry traveling wherever you want to go. And if you watch a good example, like I'm using Van City Van Life because his is a lifted 2-wheel drive. He talks about that in some of his videos about things you have to watch for. So those are subtle little nuances you need to know before you just jump in any kind of 4-wheel drive and just head off into the backcountry.
Yeah, of course, it's good to it's good to go with somebody that it's been in the past and doing some wheeling and all that kind of stuff, right?
Yeah.
So, and it's good to take some courses too, because there is lots of courses you can go and take it, how to handle, how to even winch and all that kind of stuff, right? When you are in the pickle, because it's very important. If you don't know things, then you're just gonna hurt yourself, right?
Correct. So yeah, I hope that gives you some good information. Yeah, Lauren's correct. The best thing to do is to go with somebody that's experienced and learn, how things work. And maybe if it's someone you know really well, maybe even, if they'll let you drive their vehicle a little bit, kind of give you some pointers so that you can kind of get your feet wet and start learning how the things work with the vehicle, because it's a whole lot different off road and on the gravelly back roads than it is on the highway. Big difference.
So Robert Smith is saying that the winch is important, he thinks. Well, absolutely. When you are in the backcountry, lots of things are important. It's good to have a winch, it's good to have a shovel, and it's good to have some experience, because sometimes you go to places like I do where nobody ever travels. So if I'm in trouble, I should be able to fix and get myself out of the pickle. Otherwise, I'll be there for days. And to walk out, it's impossible, because we are talking 40, 50 to 75 miles, somewhere in the very remote area. So I say, make sure you guys know what are you doing when you go out there, and be prepared. Be prepared just in case. If you have to stay in the backcountry, you got some food, you got some water, you got some warm clothes, stay dry and hydrated.
Yeah. And when I started off-roading, I was 14 years old. We had trucks that we ran on my buddy's farmland. We were off-roading. We never had winches. They were way too expensive back then. They were mostly for rescue vehicles because they were so expensive. So what we learned is we all each carried 2 come-alongs that we could use as a hand winch. And then when they started coming out with recovery straps, that extended our come-alongs. So you don't necessarily have to have a winch to off-road. People that you see a lot of overlanders and off-roaders that don't run winches. That's because they're experienced and they know how to drive the terrain as opposed to relying on a winch. But if you can't afford a winch, I would say, get a couple of come-alongs, 4,000-pound pulled come-alongs. Get you a recovery strap like a 30-footer, and that can get you out of a lot of things where you don't have to go spend, anywhere from $400 to $1,000 or more to put a winch on the front of your vehicle. And one of the downsides to a winch is that I personally don't like. I don't like mounting a winch on the front of the vehicle. I like having it so I can move it to the back or use it in the front. So because sometimes you might have to pull from the rear. Yeah. It's not always pulling forward. Sometimes you get in a situation you have to pull from the rear. If you don't have a way to do that, you're basically stuck. So there's a come along will help even if you have a winch, because you can recover yourself from the rear. The other thing that I use is a 2-inch wide strap, one of the nylon straps, because it's like a come along, and you can use those to do some winching and pull yourself out as well. And I have 33-foot long straps, so I can pull a long way along with my recovery strap. So there's little things like that you can learn along the way. And like I said, if you're working with an experienced off-roader, you can learn these little nuances. Let's see this.
Okay.
The lady, aka Robin, Lauren, I've seen some areas you go. I wouldn't want to go in my Jeep, LOL.
Yes, I'm always open. If any of you guys want to go out wheeling and camping out, just gotta hit me up, let me know, and we'll be more than happy to organize something and do it. And that is beautiful places, plenty of it, you know, in the backcountry. But I wanna address a question, August. Yes, I'm going on the island this coming Thursday to take care of my homie. So just so you know, that's the plan. We are leaving Thursday, going on the island. So I'll see you guys there next.
Yeah, the lady, aka Robin, said last year Chrome damaged the rear bumper because his rear end dragged. Yeah, that happens. You know, if you're, it can happen even if you're experienced. It can happen. So
Absolutely, yes.
yeah, and badge is right there. Like a driving experience is way more important than a winch. Exactly. You have to be an experienced driver to keep yourself out of situations. If you know what you're doing and you know what to look for on the trail, you can avoid even needing a winch. I mean, there are instances that come up, but more likely than not, if you know how to read the terrain and how to drive the terrain, you can avoid having to ever pull out the rope or the cable.
Yeah, absolutely. You know, beside experience, you have to be smart too, right?
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. Jeffrey Kropp says, what can be said about moving up or down to a 410 gear ratio?
Depends what. Okay, so the gearing ratio, I can tell you guys, depends of the size of the wheels you want to run, and also depends of the weight of your vehicle. Okay, so 410, it's a medium. Like my bus has a 410 gear, and I'm running 35-inch tires, and diesel has a lots of torque. It's okay. But you know, if you are running with a smaller engine and all that, I suggest, you know, 430 minimum, 456. You know, it saves a lot, you know, and it's easy on the vehicle. Now, you might not have a lot of you know, torque on the low end, but you know, it's one of those things. That's why I like the 410, because I got pretty much everything I want there, you know.
Yeah.
In my situation that, you know, I'm 5,000 kg and I'm running 35s and I have a diesel pusher, you know.
Yeah. Yeah. With 410s, you know, there's a big debate between the 410s and the 456, and one of them is more for torque, one of them's more for high end, like highway travel. So you got to think about what do you want if you're going off road. Yeah, a lot of times you don't need a lot of low end torque. Sometimes you do if you're going up and down steep grades, but 410s is a really good area. Especially if you're just getting into learning how to off-road, and it gives you a good balance between highway and off-road performance. Badge says, yeah, but thing is, where you and Lauren go, I bet you don't even think about now. That is experience. Yeah, it does become second nature once you learn how to do it. You know, especially when you, like Lauren, you know, he built his Ambo into four-wheel drive, so he knows his suspension. He knows what it'll do. He knows what it's capable of. And just the fact of driving a four-wheel drive gives you a lot of experience, because there's a big difference between a 4x4 and a two-wheel drive vehicle. So there's a lot of things you learn, and also depends on how top heavy it is, how big it is. You know, a smaller four-wheel drive is going to be have more articulation. It's going to be easier to maneuver, where a bigger one like an Ambo is going to be a little more awkward, a little more sway left and right. So there's a lot of things that come into play, and once you drive that way and once you've had the experience, it just becomes second nature to you.
I see Black Wolf Joe asking a question about a 2006. What is that? The Chevy. Yeah. So it's hard to say. You know, like, is it hard? Is it easy? Well, if you get a donor truck and you can get all your parts necessary, like you need, especially if you want to put a diesel in. Depends what kind of diesel you want to put in it, but you're gonna need harness, computers, and you know, Have to see if the transmission, the bell housing is the same, so you can bolt it up and all that kind of stuff. So yeah, it's possible. You can do anything you want to do. It just depends how much money you want to spend on it. You know, how much it's gonna cost you, right?
Yeah, yeah,
Might as well look for a Chevy diesel, sell the gas and do a Chevy diesel. I mean, it's nothing wrong with the Chevy, the 2006 Chevy that you have, the 3500. I think those are, you know, not bad engines, you know. But it all depends, right? If you are a gas lover or a diesel lover, it's, you know, you have to keep in mind diesel, it's a little bit more pickier than gasoline. So, you know, there are things to consider.
yeah, yeah. The Chevy Duramax, you know, throughout its history has had a lot of problems. So you have to think about that. The gas engines, like Lauren said, are reliable. You know, unless you're going to be doing a lot of heavy towing with your van, I don't know that I would try to switch it over to a diesel. You have to change the entire dash because the cluster is completely different. Like you said, you have to get the computer, which is different from a gas computer. You can't flash them or change one over from the other. They have to be specific for the diesel or the gas. You have to get the wiring harness for it because there's a lot more wire harness involved with a diesel than a gas. So there's a lot of things, and you're gonna end up in the tens of thousands of dollars by the time you're done converting it over. So you might want to, like you said, consider selling the gas and getting a diesel if you really want one. Or if it was me, I would just, if the gas is kind of older, got a lot of miles, maybe do a good tune-up on it and replace worn out gaskets and that kind of stuff. And I would just drive the gas if it were me personally.
Yeah, I mean, everything is possible. It depends how much you want to spend and how much it's gonna cost, right? Because once you have to buy engines and all that kind of stuff, and then pay the man to put it in.
Yeah, that's the labor is going to be, unless you can do it yourself, it's going to be expensive.
Yeah.
Thanks for the grant on the winch and strap. Yeah. I did a video I don't know, about 3 years back talking about recovery gear, and I'm going to do an updated video because it's winter here and what I carry and how to use stuff. So you can stay tuned for that, and I'll show you guys what I carry, what I use, because I do a lot of recoveries here where I live because we have so much snow. And you learn some tips and tricks when you're trying to recover somebody.
Who's in the house? Bruce Vanlife Jr. Hey, Bruce, how are you, buddy? Good to see you in the house.
Oh, sharing the journeys in here. Dorothea Walker's in here. Thank you guys for showing up. I appreciate it.
Awesome. Good to see you guys.
Yep, Bruce Vanlife Jr. Just add nitrous. There you go. Yeah, that would probably work for that Express.
I like that pop-up thing.
Let's see.
Hey, Silhouette. Hi, welcome to the live stream, my friend. Hope you are doing good. Did I miss any of you guys? I just want to say a big thank you and hi, and I hope you guys had a good Sunday, and welcome to the live stream in collaboration with Backroads Nomads.
Sue Bishop says, I have a 96 Astro 4.3 and it's a rock star. Would love to make it 4x4, but yeah, it gets expensive. Now the Astros did come in an all-wheel drive version, which is not true four-wheel drive, but it's pretty close to probably doing what you'd want to do unless you can do some serious off-roading in it.
Hey, 11 Silver Bullets. Good to see you, my friend. Welcome to the live stream. Hope you are doing awesome. Hope you had a good Sunday.
Oh, Sikozi's in the house.
Hello, my friends.
Sikozi Covers.
Yeah, welcome.
Yeah, for any that don't know, Sikozi Covers, they make window covers, really nice window covers for vehicles. Lauren uses them in his. Chrome uses them in his van. So you guys should check those out. They look like a really good product.
What
I
you
have.
do, Bishop? What do you wish to have one of those? I missed something there. I didn't see.
I think she's talking about Sikozy covers because she's saying hi to him. And yeah, don't we all wish we had them? Sheriff and the Bandit, Ford ambulance with 7.3 diesels are well represented down here. Yeah, there's a lot of 7.3 diesels.
And they are more easy to, the 7.3, it's more easier and reliable, unit to work on it or, drive it and stuff like that.
Yeah.
It's not picky on the oil and all that kind of stuff versus the 6 liter. It's a whole different ballgame. You have to use full synthetic because all those UE injectors and, it's a little bit more. But if you take good care of it, the 6 liter, I love it. I had a 7.3 and I had the 6 liter. And I love both of them, but would I go back to 7.3? Not in a million years. But I can fix my own stuff, so that's a big difference.
Yeah. The 6.0 is if anybody's getting a 6.0, the only years that you should look for is a 2005 to 2007. They corrected some of the issues with the head studs and all that in 05. The 03 and 4 had a lot of issues, and you can find a lot of them cheap online, but stay away from them because they're going to be a $15,000 to $20,000 repair monster because most of them have had blown heads or are close to having blown heads, and the owners know it, and that's why they're selling them cheap.
Yeah, and the high pump on those two was a weak point.
Yeah. So you want to stay away from that. 05 to 07 are the best ones. 7.3, like Lauren said, you can't go wrong. I've been wrenching on a run of 7.3s since they came out. I had the 6.9 and 7.3 IDIs, the indirect injection diesels, which I like, but they just don't have as much torque and power as the Power Stroke. So I like the 7.3 because of the simplicity of working on them. And a lot of people don't know this, but actually a diesel engine is easier to work on than a gas engine.
How did you figure that out?
From working on it. No distributor, no spark plugs, no wires, none of that stuff. It's much easier to work on a diesel engine than a gas. I would much rather work on a diesel than a gas. Now, I did tell Lauren when I started watching his channel, watched him working on a 6.0, I said, I've stayed away from the 6.0s because there's so much more on them. They just always, to me, look more complicated. And I know the 7.3s. And he has convinced me that if I were to get another diesel, I would probably go with a 6.0, an 05 to 07 6.0 that didn't have a lot of miles. It wasn't all tuned, and they did a bunch of crap too. Because what happens a lot of times with those 6.0s is you get a lot of young kids who daddy bought them a truck, and they throw all these hyper tuners and all these other things on them, and that's what really has damaged those engines, is because they have plenty of power the way they are. I mean, Lauren has no problem moving that ammo down the road. I've watched his videos, and he, doesn't have all that crap on it. So you have to really watch what you're buying, even when you're buying a 6.0 and with a 7.3, because a lot of people like to tune up the 7.3s. And if it's a mild tuner, that's one thing. But if there's been a lot of major things done to it, stay away from it. But 7.3s are more expensive to work on, but they're also easier to work on. And there's a lot of times that they can go longer between intervals of needing to be worked on if you just do basic maintenance, like your oil changes and that kind of stuff.
And it's cheaper also to do the maintenance on the 7.3 than on the 6 liter, right? Because you can just go regular diesel engine oil on the 7.3, but on the 6 liter, you have to have a full synthetic oil, right?
Yeah.
It's about 14.5, 15 liters of oil, right? And up here, that it's going to cost you about $200.
Yeah.
Just oil change. And then the oil change, you cannot go more than like 7,000 kilometers on a 6 liter because you're gonna pay the price on the injectors. So
Yeah.
you don't want
Yeah.
any carbon going to the oil, because then that's gonna create problems on the fuel injectors because they are so picky, you know.
Now, do you have an oil cleaner? Did you put an oil cleaner on your 6.0?
No,
Oh,
no,
okay.
no.
Because I've seen some guys do that where they put the oil cleaners on to.
Yeah, no, I have just the oil filter and that's it, you know. But I change my oil religiously every 5,000 kilometers. That's what I do. For me, it's cheaper to just do that, and I have a peace of mind, right?
Mm-hmm. 11 Silver Bullet said, I had a 94 all-wheel drive Astro, cranked up the front torsion bars and put rear airbags. 31 BF KO2s. Thing was a tank. Blew
Hey, Joel.
the motor. Faulty oil pump killed it. Yeah, that'll do it. That'll do it. Big
Oh, yeah.
time.
So you see, this is another thing that I am telling people when you are driving a diesel, right? Fuel pressure and high pressure oil. If you can monitor those two, and then in the 6 liter, you also want to see the temperature between the coolant and the oil, you know, to be within sync, you know, maybe plus or minus 5 or 10, you know. If you monitor all those things, you know, everything is going to be fine. You know that you have high pressure oil, you know that you have high pressure fuel, because all those, the high pressure fuel can kill your injectors within 200 kilometers. If you're running low fuel pressure, you are done in 200 kilometers. I guarantee you that. That's going to cost you big money. You know?
Yeah. Yeah. Big damage, big repair.
Yes. If you blew up your injectors on a 6 liter and in a van style, I'm saying, and you take it to somebody to change it, you better have $5,000 in your pocket.
Yeah, easily. Yeah, easily. Yeah.
Yeah. So
yeah,
that's why I said it's cheaper to have a gauge to monitor all those things, the vital parts, you know.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly. Someone asked a question a little bit ago about 6.7 Power Stroke, and this one's about the 6.4. And Lauren and I were talking about this off camera. Personally, I would never mess with a 6.4 or 6.7. Too many problems with those motors, and they're not meant to last a long period. I had a good friend who passed away last May, and he was a master diesel mechanic, Power Stroke diesel mechanic, and he said those engines are made to go about 150,000 miles and then be thrown away. He had a lot full of them that were $20,000, $25,000 repair engines that the owners just said, forget it, I'm not putting that kind of money into those engines. So personally, I would stay away from the 6.4 and the 6.7 Power Strokes. I don't know what Lauren's thought on that is.
Well, you know, they are good engines, those two. You know, I got nothing against them. I wouldn't drive them. I would work on them. You know what I mean? But yeah, the 6.4, it was very minimal production years on that, and it's not a whole lot of support on the aftermarket parts. The 6.7, I don't know. You know, they have a lot of flaws, put it this way. But, you know, as long as you do the right thing and you fix all those flaws up, you have a nice truck.
Yeah. Michael Tachonic says 2014 6.7, are they prone to lubrication issues? I can't speak to that. I don't have enough experience with it, but I have heard that in different forums where guys have complained about lubrication issues and causing major issues with their engines. So from what I've read, yes, but I can't state that as a fact because I don't know firsthand. Yes, Lauren. Yes, Lauren is a diesel guy. So am I.
Thank you. Okay, how about if I give you some, you guys?
CR Variety Channel, great live stream. I have an 034 diesel. Thank you, C. I appreciate it. Appreciate you being here.
Okay, let's do this. Giving away 5 memberships. Let's see who got it. Daniel Malone, Carlos Coris, Black Wolf Joel, and who was the other one? 1, 2, 3, 4. Oh, B Pre. Congratulations, you guys.
Congratulations, everyone that got a Lowly's 1 month membership. That's cool. Badge. I work on all diesel, but the cost per mile is higher on diesel. Yeah, it is higher per mile than gas. That is true.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely. You know, like, look, I got nothing against. I love the gas cars too. You know, they are all good, right? Like I said, they're less maintenance. And if you're just running like a small, you know, business, then it's cheaper to run it. Put it this way, you know. On today's world, if you look at it, the prices of the diesel and the price of the gasoline and, you know, prices to fix things, you know, there is more things to go wrong with the diesel than a gasoline engine. So, you know, it's one of those things. What is your preference? You know, if you prefer a diesel, well, just go spend your money on diesel. Right?
Yeah. Yeah. Sharing the journey says, been thinking about a rooftop tent for my JL. Yeah, Loli and I were talking about that too. And personally, I'm not a fan of rooftop tents. I don't want to be climbing up and down in and out of there to go to the bathroom or having to have the wife do it at night. And if you want to go explore, you got to pack it all up, put it away. I would rather just either have a trailer with maybe a tent built, you know, or a teardrop trailer or something of that kind of setup I could tow, or just a ground tent. Personally,
oh, the Cummins. It all depends which one, eh?
how come I'm not seeing all those comments? These comments are coming through on Lowly's side, Lowly's Off-Road. If you go to Lowly's channel, you'll see. Yeah, it's over on Lowly's side. Canada's showing strong. Instead, America's not showing that strong tonight.
Oh well, it's all good. It's all good, you know.
Leon, what is the advantage for diesel over gas? My truck is 240 and still strong. That depends on what you're wanting to do with your vehicle. I mean, a diesel has better pulling power. You get better miles per gallon. You get better torque out of it. There's a lot of advantages. You know, if you're parked, you can idle a diesel. Well, the older diesels you can idle, where a gas, you really shouldn't idle a gas engine because it's very hard on the engine. But the diesels are made to idle. Once they're running, they can just run forever. You just keep feeding fuel into it. So there's a lot of, I mean, what are you looking to do with the diesel? Why are you asking what's the advantage? The advantage for me is they go a lot longer. They garner less wear and tear on a daily basis than a gas engine. And just overall, I just prefer them because I prefer the ease of working on them versus a gas. I just prefer them in general because if I need to tow something, I've got the power and torque to do it, where you don't always have that with a gas.
I always say, like, look, if you must have a diesel, you have to have a diesel. But if not, you guys stick to the gas engine. It's a way better option for you. It's way cheaper to maintain. You're gonna have less problems. So that's my take anyway. But if you know how to do mechanical stuff and you be able to do some of the work yourself, then yeah, go for it. Hi, honey.
Yeah,
Here.
Bad says the Cummins was awesome till they put DEF on it. Yeah, that DEF is ruined.
The DEF, it ruined a lot of diesel engines, including Duramax, including everything else. That's what it is. It's an engine killer.
Yeah, Patty, I see the comments because Lauren and I are in StreamYard. So in StreamYard, we get the comments so we can see them all. Let's see. Oops. Black Wolf Joe says, Lowlies, why did Chrome not build out that cargo diesel van he has, then fix his old van?
Because you guys, takes a lot to do that, and you don't want to do it in a rush. And he has other plans for that cargo van, so that's the reason. And it's okay. He can struggle for a little bit. I mean, that's just part of life. I mean, like, I live in a bricks and sticks, and some shit goes wrong here. Pardon me for the language. I have to do what I have to do. So, this is kind of like a give and take, I mean, like, obviously, yeah, you cannot go and explore for a few months, but that's part of the business, Don't worry, it's gonna be 2 weeks. It's gonna be all up and happy and running and smiles all the way here.
Yeah. Bruce Van Life Jr. I know diesels are good for idling, but I always thought they would gum up if idled too much. Now I've been idling diesels for years. I don't have that problem.
Never gums up.
No.
Especially the ambulance services, that's what they do the most.
Yeah.
The vehicles,
Yeah. Yeah, up in Alaska, their diesels are idled all winter long for them. I mean, semi trucks, ambulances, whatever it is, medium duty or heavy duty trucks, they're idled all winter long because otherwise they won't get them started as cold as it gets.
Okay, I just want to say, Bobtail Tracker, thank you for the gift. Thank you very much. I really appreciate it. So yeah, you guys, this is the best way you can support the channel, instead of giving super chats or this and that. If you can gift some of these memberships away, well, perfect. Thank you. I appreciate that.
Dan Middleton, a 2003 E350 with a 7.3, a good van, has 467,000 kilometers on it. High miles. I don't know what that equates to for mileage in the States, so I can't 7.3s are million-mile engines. I mean, they will go forever and ever, and and a lot of it depends on how well it was maintained throughout its life up to that 467,000 kilometers.
Can I butt in here?
Yeah.
Okay, so that 467,000 kilometers, I would have a really serious look to it, you guys. I always want to stress about this. You have to go underneath. You want to make sure that you know all the driving components, ball joints, brakes, and all that kind of stuff. It's in a good shape. Go and look underneath, see if it's any oil leaks and all that kind of stuff. How rusted is the exhaust manifolds and all the studs on the exhaust manifolds and all that kind of stuff. Check the oil quality, see how black the oil it is and all that. And then make your judgment. If it's cheap, yeah, grab it, and you spend a little bit of money. But you have to think about it. When you buy something like this and it's a dually, if you have to do front brakes, ball joints, I don't even want to go there, it's going to cost you mega money, if everything is gone. Unless you can do it yourself.
Yeah, unless you can do it yourself. Exactly. Yeah. Yeah, one of the first telltale signs of any engine, but especially diesels, is look at the dipstick. See if there's burned oil on the dipstick. If there is, that means they ran it low, and there probably is some damage inside the engine. So, yeah, check the dipstick and see if it's clear. Or I mean, if it has like a golden tinge to it at the tip, it's not too bad. But if it has any dark or black burned oil on it, I would walk away. That's your first telltale sign. Walk away from it. You know, you have to look at it has those kind of miles or kilometers, but did they do regular oil changes? Did they do regular maintenance? Did they change the filters? Did they change their fluids? You know, coolant. You have to check the coolant. Make sure that the radiator's not all gummed up. There's a lot of things to that, but I've bought high mile diesel engines that I've run up into the 700,000-800,000 mile range. Because they were taken care of to that point. If it's a fleet vehicle, they're generally well taken care of because they're required to keep those vehicles maintained. Or if it's something like a shuttle bus from a shuttle company, they have regulations they have to follow for their maintenance. The shuttle bus that I have, they replaced the injectors at 150,000 miles, not because they needed it, but because they were required to per the city for it being a shuttle bus. So there's a lot of things you have to look at, but I would look at the dipstick first to make sure if that's clean, then you might have a decent engine. But like Loli said, also look at the other things of the front suspension, you know, the transmission, the rear differential. Did they change the fluids in the rear differential regularly? Because if they didn't, that could be a problem. You don't want to be putting gears in the rear end. That can be really expensive. So there's a lot to look at, but as far as the engine, that's what I would check first to even before I even bother with the rest of it. Yeah, if you don't know the history, yeah, walk. Yeah, Badge is a good one. He's a very knowledgeable mechanic. He and Loli are about the only two diesel mechanics that I would trust taking any advice from, because I know they know their stuff from working around Badge and from watching Loli. I know. Let's see.
The lady Aka Robin.
She gifted 5. Sweet. There it is. There's a thumbs up. There's the hearts. Okay. Okay. Badge, I don't know if you've seen, while I think about it, have you seen that Jax Austin is back on YouTube? He just posted a video last night. A lot of people probably won't know who he is, but Badge and I know Jax from way back when he started his adventure in his little short yellow bus. This guy beat 3 cancers and has been in a different country fighting these 3 cancers and beat them. And he just posted a video yesterday.
I seen that one.
Yeah, that Jax is a really good guy. I like Jax. I've known Jax for since he started his YouTube adventure, and he's an awesome guy.
Yeah, that is my friend to beat 3.
Yeah, beat 3 cancers. Yeah.
You know.
Yeah. We just lost Toby Keith. You know, very very famous country singer to stomach cancer.
Oh.
And he had all the money, resources, and did all the treatments, and he still couldn't beat it. And this guy beat 3 cancers. That's just absolutely phenomenal. Bad says, thanks, BR, and Lauren is my 6.0 guy. Well, he's, like I said, he's convinced me to look at 6.0s, where I was really apprehensive about even looking at them. Jax is my American son. Yep, he is. He's Badge did a lot of work on Jax's buses. So, Sue Bishop, 14 years cancer free. Oh, congratulations! Here, Sue. There we go. That's for you for 14 years.
Oh wow!
Yep. Yeah, big time.
You know, when I hear stories like that, man, honestly, look, Look, my skin just stands up because I
Yeah.
know what it takes, you know. Like, honestly, I lost my sister 3 years ago. Okay, she was only 57. You know. Yeah, it sucks.
.com/at. There's a link to Jack's. I just put up the link to Jax's channel in the comments for anyone who wants to go check it out. He went from his little yellow short bus to building a full size school bus and converted it to veg oil. And Jack's Badge did a lot of work on it too on both of his buses. So you guys should go check out his channel. Yes. R.I.P. Toby Keith. Yeah. I mean, that guy went through everything for over 2 years.
Okay.
The lady, a.k.a. Robin. Explain what you mean by cleaning vegetable oil and what is it being used for?
Okay, so what I do, I collect used vegetable oil from Japanese restaurants. And what I mean by cleaning, well, obviously you have to settle to make sure that, you know, all the crumbs and everything stay on the bottom. And I have 100 micron filter that I kind of pour the oil down. And when I see any dirt coming, I stop and, you know, do that kind of stuff. And I also have a centrifuge that I run it through. I heat the oil up, I take all the moisture out and all this. And the reason for this, I use the vegetable oil running my diesel engine. So my Nissan, my Ambo, and my newly built Dodge Dakota that I'm working on it, they all run on waste vegetable oil. It's an alternative fuel that works on diesel. It's a process, but if you do it right, you reap all the benefits, you reduce, recycle, and save your wallet.
Yeah, the diesel engine was founded by Rudolf Diesel back in the early 1900s, and it was he founded it on vegetable oil. That's originally diesel. There was no diesel fuel. It was the namesake Rudolf Diesel is where the name of the engine came from, and there was all this vegetable oil collecting from restaurants that were becoming popular in the cities, and they didn't know what to do with it. And Rudolf Diesel said that he could make an engine that would run off of it, and that's exactly what he did. So the diesel started its life running on vegetable oil. And now you can go around and collect waste vegetable oil from restaurants, and Chinese and Japanese restaurants that use peanut oil are the most pure oil to run if you're going to do a waste vegetable oil system. I've had waste vegetable oil on 4 of my diesels, and it's fantastic system. It extends your diesel mileage for your diesel fuel. My 99 E350 with a 7.3, I ran from Portland, Oregon to Portland, Maine, which is west coast to east coast across the United States, 2 of the farthest points, on $15 in diesel, and the rest of it was all waste vegetable oil I collected and filtered along the way. So that's one of the other benefits is diesels will run off of waste vegetable oil beautifully, and that makes them last longer too.
Wow. Dan Middleton, that is brutal, my friend. Yeah.
Yeah, cancer is horrible. I've been battling 7 years, rectal cancer and lung cancer. I'm only 4. Oh, wow. Can't remember what I want to get a van to go out west, BC. It's on my bucket list.
I'll say this, my friend.
Yeah, brother. I wish you all the best to do that, because I mean it's a great life to do the van life thing.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah.
You know, you don't have to have an Ambo or a shuttle bus or a school bus. I
enjoy.
Yeah, I started my Nomad career in a E150 conversion van, and I did everything I wanted to do. I even went off road in it. Didn't have the greatest ground clearance, but I went off road in it. Not really rugged off road, but I like vans because you can crawl in the back, go to sleep, get up, drive away, whatever you want to do, and it's just a great adventure. It's very freeing.
Yeah, absolutely.
Gelling in the oil is a second trick to it. Yeah, but it's not that hard because they have heaters that you can put in diesel tanks if they're not inside to keep the oil heated. Well, Loli's just gifted 5 more memberships.
Hi, Nancy. Hi, Ruby. Nice to see you guys in here on the live chat.
Let's see, I missed.
How are you, Ruby?
You're welcome, Patty. He don't have that much time to explain about the veg oil.
No, but I would definitely make probably like a compressed 10-minute video where I can explain the process of getting it, showing how you clean it, and all the little things, what it takes to have a setup to run on vegetable oil. Is it worth it to do the conversion if you're just driving 10, 15, 20 kilometers, or is it worth it to be like long term, and what are the benefits and all that kind of stuff. I mean, if you can reuse, reduce some, recycle, it's always a good thing. Another thing, it's always good that you save lots of money, especially when you drive from here down to Arizona and back, and you can run that on vegetable oil where it costs you nothing, right? Pretty much it's just your effort of going, picking up the oil and cleaning it yourself.
Thank you, Delady. Appreciate that. Yeah, please click the like and thumbs up for Loli's and myself, if you wouldn't mind. I greatly appreciate it.
Somebody just gifted. Who was it?
Bobtail Trucker just gifted 10 Loli's off-road.
He just did another 5 earlier.
Thank you, Bobtail. You're
Trucker. I really appreciate it, my friend. And I would like you to send me an email, and I'll discuss the issues there with you. How about that? You can either send me an email to Loli's Offroad and Overland at gmail.com, or you can send to the other one, Loli Delica at gmail.com. But I think you put my email up here, didn't you?
Yeah, I have it.
Yeah, so you can email me. I'd really like to, send you something, my friend. You are really appreciate that,
There's the Loli's email address, Loli's Offroad and Overland at Gmail.
Yeah, thank you. Yeah. Yeah, that's really awesome. I appreciate that, man.
Yeah, that's very generous.
Bobtail Trucker. Yeah, he did 5 earlier and 10 now, so that's 15. That's really amazing,
K9 Gar, K9 Gar Life and Adventures. Hey, I finally get to meet Badge. Hello, Badge.
Oh, did you guys meet? So, K9 Gar, you are up in Prince George, right? Because I watched some of your channel too. I know you are up somewhere there. Just say if yes or not, right?
Bobtail Trucker, I'm just here to support. I appreciate all the good love and support you all do for others. Well, that's appreciated.
Yeah.
Yeah. Lauren is a great guy with his generosity helping others. That's one of the reasons I watch his channel and follow him, because he's a stand-up guy.
Yeah, like I said, look, I help anyone that is in need. You know, like if you can afford me, that's a different story. But if somebody is in need and it's in a pickle, I would always put my services in, and I can even help with more than that. You know, so.
Yeah, this community is a really good community. That's one of the reasons. You know, I started my nomad journey in 2005, and there wasn't anybody out here. And
Oh,
then you had people like Badge that I met, and Jax Austin, and Lowlease, and Chrome from Van City Van. I mean, all these people. You know, I follow them and I watch them because they're just great people. They do a lot for the community and for others around them. And those are the kind of people we should all aspire to be. Bobtail Trucker says, Chromie sent me. Chromie the homie. Hey, that would be a good shirt. Chromie the homie. I like that one.
oh, Chromie. Thank you. Yeah.
Bad says, that's why we do. You couldn't afford us, Lorne. LOL. Yeah, a good mechanic is not cheap.
Absolutely not.
Patty says, "Truth, Badge, you're a rock star too, my friend." Yes, Badge is. He's a very, very generous and good guy. Chromie the homie. I like that one. Yeah, there are lanterns that run on kerosene that run on veg oil too. Yep, sure can. Yeah, the old Hurricane oil lamps can run on veg oil. They work really well. And you know the way Lauren does it, he has a centrifuge where he spins the oil to clean it. But I had a different system in my my old van. I had a luggage, one of those wheeled luggage carts that I had a 12-volt battery, and I had a pump, an oil pump mounted with a filter on one side and a filter on the other. So the hose from the collection tank went into the first filter, which was 10 microns, went through the pump, and then through a second filter that was 1 micron, and into a holding tank in my van, where that went through a bag system. There was bags in there that were 5 and 1 micron, and then I could pump it back into my fuel tank from there. So if you're on the road traveling and you don't have a centrifuge, takes up a lot of room. That's a way you can filter it on the road and make sure that you get the cleanest oil possible. Plus, there's other little nuances when you collect it. You know, you let it settle, and you don't suck up, you know, the like the bottom third of the tank, because that's where any sediment that might remain will fall. You just want to make sure you get the clean oil off the top. And then my holding tank had a petcock on the bottom where I could drain out all the sludge. I just put a vacuum hose on it with a vacuum pump and suck all that sludge out once every like 4 months, and then my tank would be clean. Yeah, I remember that. We got Jackson's bus running so clean, working it so good it would start on veggie. Yeah.
Yeah, my system is completely different. You know, I don't know if you was running two same dual tanks, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. So I run dual tanks, and I have 3 pumps, 1 on the veg side and 2 on the diesel side. But one of the diesel side, I also use the veg. So it's a complicated system, but it works very well, because the 6 liter being so picky, I want to make sure that, you know, the fuel is the best of the best, you know.
Right. Well, that's one of the things I heard with the 6.0, starting with the 6.0, was the injectors were such fine mist that it was hard to run veg oil through them without them coking up, unless you had to go. It was expensive, and you had to take a lot of care to make sure the oil was so highly refined and pure that it wouldn't coke up the injectors.
Yeah, so I've been running on my 6 liter on vegetable oil for the past 4 years. Zero issues,
Mm-hmm.
So, but like I said, I'm picky because my oil, if I bring the oil in and I show you, you think that the brand new oil came from the store. So
Mm-hmm.
that's the difference, right?
Right, right. Well, the centrifuge makes a huge difference with the cleaning too. So,
Totally. You know,
uh, Black Wolf Joe says, I have a question. With all the electronic stuff that we have in the vans, do you guys believe in EMP protection? They're talk. Yes, I have EMP protection on my computerized vehicles. Yes, I've seen it tested and it does work. Um, and to me, it's cheap insurance to mitigate the risk as much as possible.
absolutely.
So yeah, EMP Shield is a good product for houses and for vehicles. They sell them for both.
Absolutely. I agree with you. Yeah. If you don't have that, they can come up to your house door, with a laptop and they can steal your key and they can go and unlock your car in front of your house and drive it away and then just rekey it, right?
Mm-hmm.
So it's very important, you have to play it smart.
Yeah. Canine Guard Life and Adventures. How do you fix the Coke? You have to pull out the injectors and clean them thoroughly if they get coked up, because it won't work without.
It all depends, right? Sometimes you even have to change the nozzle.
Yeah, yeah. Sometimes you do. Yeah. If the nozzles get really bad, yeah, you have to change those as well. Which you can rebuild injectors. I mean, they have rebuild kits, and you can rebuild injectors. Takes a little bit of patience, but once you learn how to do it, it's cheaper than buying new ones, unless they're really, really bad and beyond rebuild. But a lot of times you can simply rebuild them and put them back in. But you have to make sure the injection port is cleaned out, make sure the injectors are clean, the nozzle is clean. You have to get all that coking off of there.
It's good once in a while to put that additive into the fuel too, and into the oil
Yeah, yeah.
and just run it, for 30, 40 kilometers just on strictly diesel and just
Hmm.
open it up, burn it out good.
Yeah.
That helps.
One of the things with the veg oil is you have Badge was saying that Jackson's system was so clean and tight that he could start it on veg oil, but that takes, if you don't know what you're doing, that can cause problems. You can't start a diesel on veg oil. You have to start it on diesel, wait till it gets up to operating temperature, then switch over to the veg oil. And about 10 or 15 miles before you're going to shut down, you switch it back over to diesel to purge all the oil out of the system and clean out the engine and the injectors and everything. And that way you'll be pretty much assured of being able to start the next day without any problem. So
Yeah.
it's not just as simple as running veg oil and never having to run diesel. You still are going to need diesel fuel. For one thing, if you can't find veg oil and you run out, you still need diesel as a backup to make sure that you continue traveling down the road.
Okay, I have a couple of questions to answer here. Well, I'm going back, Daniel Mallory. Did I pronounce it right? I'm a dork. But
Danielle Mallory, I'm trying to find that.
I'm going back on Thursday this coming week, this week on the island, and hopefully it's getting done. And the other one, Wilderness Adventures. The tanks are on order. He's working on them, so I'll see when I go back on the island. But we have a lot of things to do. Not just the finish up the engine, the whole front end, and the hubs, the new hubs, and there is a few things to do there anyway. We're gonna be there for at least 2 weeks.
Teresa Pate, hi, long time no see. Glad to see you in here. Yes, I remember you guys from back in those days down in the Quartzsite area. Let's see. Here's Jimmy Mann says, Lauren, how about coming to our resort in Panama City Beach, Florida, rebuild and hydro chip my 01 F350? Got a prime spot for you.
That'd be nice. What year is your? Oh, it's an 01.
It's an '01 F350, so it's a 7.3.
Is it a diesel or it's gasoline? Could be both, right? Yeah, I would love me. I would love to. Let's see if everything goes good here, and you know, we clean up my bro Chrome's house and all that thing. Well, you never know.
Patty asked, "How do you put EMP protection?" It gets wired into your electronic system, and it's like a ground fault interrupter for your vehicle. So if there's electric surge, it'll pop that before it shorts out your electronics. So that's pretty much how they work. There's directions that come with them, and they tell you step by step how to wire it into your vehicle. Bobtail trucker, a 7.3 is a tank of an engine as long as you maintain it and will carry it. Yes, that's true, Bobtail.
Absolutely. Yeah. Absolutely.
There's your question. When are you going back to work on his van home? PA Wilderness Adventures. Lowly, did you get Chrome's extra gas tank done?
They are on. It's been ordered. They are on the work. So once I go on the island, because my buddy is on the island there that builds the tanks for me. I'm not the one who's building. I'm just taking the measurements, designing it to fit where it's supposed to go, and then my buddy that does all the tanks for me. He built so many. He's the guy who's doing them. So,
oh, okay. And someone was asking on your last live stream, are you going to put a skid plate underneath those tanks?
absolutely. He has to have them because they're gonna go right back where the spare tire used to be.
Right.
If he drags his rear end like he did last time, and he doesn't have the protecting because aluminum is different than steel, right? It will rip it right open.
Yeah, it ripped the tank open. Yeah.
With gasoline, right? No way. So yeah, it's gonna have a skid plate on it, right?
Black Wolf Joe, no, I'm not in court. I've been down to Quartzsite. I'm not in Quartzsite now. I'm up in the northwest of the United States. We used to go down there for the van builds and Parker City, and used to go to Blue Water Casino. We would do subscriber meetups there, but I haven't been down there since 2019.
Come on.
Yeah, why? Yeah, you got to get it just right for the camera to.
Yeah.
There it goes. K9 Gar says, "Oh, 7.3 are great. I'm Larry on the 6.0." Yeah, I was Larry on the 6.0 too, K9. But watching Lauren, I've come around to if I were to get one, I wouldn't have a problem getting a 6.0. As we've discussed what to look for and things of that nature. So I wouldn't be as Larry as I used to be about the 6.0. But again, like I said, only an 05 to 07. I would never get an 03 or 04. Too many problems with those.
No, it's pretty good.
Yeah, Patty, a Faraday cage. Yeah, Faraday cage works for like your phones. They have Faraday bags now. You can put your phone in. You can put all your little electronics in to protect them. But it'd be pretty hard to put a Faraday cage around your engine. I mean, you kind of have one with the body of a vehicle, but not completely. So the EMP protection is the next thing. Let's see. What is K9? K9 Gar. Hey guys, will my night switch do the same as EMP protection? I'm not sure what a night switch is.
So there is different ways of doing, especially on older vehicles. Like mine has the same thing, right? In order to be able, well, I should not say it here loud, but you have to push a few things in order to be able to start. Right?
Oh, kill switch. Yeah, I don't know if a kill switch would. I don't know if that would work the same way or not because there wouldn't be any way to protect the electron. And the EMP protection is basically, like I said, a ground fault interrupter. So if you get a surge of electricity from like an EMP, that would absorb that and not let it go into the sensitive electronics of your vehicle. So I'm not sure a kill switch would prevent that because the surge could still get into your electronics. The lady says, "Oh, good question on the extra tank." And then she said, "At Lowly's Off-Road and Overland, what material are you making the extra tank out of?"
I was just about typing up to her because I seen her question. The material, it's aluminum, and it's gonna have a steel skid plate underneath. So just like there is a lots of companies that they make tanks out of plastic, right?
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
that it doesn't matter. It's gonna be aluminum, but with a metal skid plate. I was just about typing up that lady Robin.
Yeah, Bruce, or Bobtail Trucker, at Bruce Van Life Jr. The way Chrome bombs through the bush, he needs a steel skid plate with carbon fiber reinforced.
Yeah, well, you want to have fun. You want to have fun, right? You have to
Yeah.
go.
Yeah.
Push the limits, my friend.
Well, Badge, thank you, sir, for being here. Appreciate it. Glad you were able to stop by. Yes, we do all enjoy you as well, Badge. I always love having you in the live streams.
Appreciate you stopping by, my friend. I hope that the transfer that you did, Badge, if you're still here, I hope it went good, or you're still working on it.
K9 got kill switch, kills the power. Power same at night switch. It interrupts the flow of power from the battery. Yeah, it does, but it wouldn't stop an EMP, a pulse that goes into electronics wouldn't kill switch wouldn't stop that. Here's a good question. CFCQ, what is the most trustable, reliable vehicle you recommend for van dwellers?
I'm a Ford guy, so
Yeah.
what do you expect? Like I'm a true believer, right? So
I'm a Ford guy too, but I've seen so many problems with the Chevy Express and the Savannas and Dodge that personally I would go with a Ford Econoline. I would go with a little bit older Ford Econoline because they're easy to work on, they're easy to get repaired, they're easy to find parts for, and if you can't work on them yourself, if you get something that's pre-96, it doesn't have the electronics and OBD like the newer ones have, they're much cheaper for even a mechanic to work on.
Look who's in the house. I'm sending you my love. You little secret girl. I know you have an MX-3 that needs some TLC. You gotta bring it to your papa. It's my daughter.
Oh, okay. Well, welcome, Titus. Glad to see you here.
Yeah. How was work today?
K9 Gar, but I'm stuck now with a 99 3/4 ton Suburban until I get another van. Well, you could have a worse vehicle than a 3/4 ton Suburban. At least you have the room in the back like you do a van where you can put a bed and whatnot. Sure. Yeah, Suburbans aren't bad vehicles for being stuck with one. That's not a bad one to be stuck with. Patty said, I had an '02 E350. Yeah, yeah. The Econolines are great. They're just great platforms. They always have been. I'm not a fan of like the Sprinters and the ProMasters and the new Ford Transits. I really don't care for them at all. The Transits have had a lot of problem with the drivetrains. The ProMasters have had a lot of problems because they're front wheel drive. If I was to go into a more modern van, I would go into like a Nissan NV 3500. You can get them in four wheel drive. They have the 5.6 gas engine, which is a good engine. I have a 2015 Nissan Titan with the 5.6. It's an easy engine to work on for a newer engine, newer vehicle. But I would go into the Nissan because they have the high top. And like I said, and the nice thing with the Nissan NV vans is that you can swap the drivetrains from a Titan over, so they're interchangeable. And but the Sprinters, way too many problems. If any of you watched Living the Van Life with Chad, he bought a new Sprinter and he had a lot of problems with the front end. The bolts were all loose. He had to tighten them from the factory. I mean, he's had a lot of problems with those and had to put a lot of work into it.
You know, every vehicle has their own issues. You know, it's not like one it's perfect is the best and the other one it's just like, you know, preference. Some people prefer Chevy, some people prefer Nissans. I love Nissans. I have nothing against Nissans. I drive one. And some people love Fords and that kind of stuff, right? But you have to kind of decide what you like, you know, high roof, low roof, you know, newer models. They are not bad. I mean, look, they all have problems. You know, it's just like, you know, when something goes wrong electronically, well, you know, you are in the pickle, you have to go to the dealer, and you know the dealers, right? They love seeing you coming because all they see it's dollar signs.
Yeah. So. Yeah. Each brand has their inherent problems. I mean, you know, GM, Chevy has their inherent problems. Ford, Ram, you know, they all have their inherent problems. So, you know, for me personally, I've always had good luck with Fords. I mean, the things that go wrong are basically consumable things that need to be replaced every once in a while, and you know, it's inexpensive to keep them going. So for me personally, I'm a Ford guy, just like Lauren. I mean, they're just a lot of benefits, in my opinion, to Ford, but also with the Nissan, like I said. So Rachel's Adventures in Live, another reason Nissan for the win over ProMaster. Now you got me rethinking future van. Yeah. I know some people that have the NV 3500, even the 2500, which is a 3/4 ton. The 3500 is a 1 ton, and they really love them. You know, they've built them out. They're really nice inside. They're high top, and the engines, the nose sticks out far enough so you don't have that doghouse on the inside, and you know, so you're not having to work front and back. You can work everything in the front because it has a hood like a pickup.
Yeah.
Black Wolf, if I decide to get a Ford 350 diesel, that is extended size because it won't just be me in the van. If you my wife and old dog for doing our adventures, what do you think? Oh yeah, an extended body E350, sure it would.
Plenty of room.
Yeah.
Plenty of room, because you know, most of the time you travel, and when you are in the van, you are either you know, doing a little bit of cooking or you are sleeping.
Yeah. You're not living when you're doing that kind of stuff. You're not living in your vehicle. You're living out of your vehicle. So, like Lauren said, you're traveling in it, you're sleeping in it. Other times you're traveling, having adventures, and you're not just sitting in there. And if it's a rainy day where you're parked, well, guess what? Your house has got wheels. You can move to an area where it's not raining, and then you don't have to sit in your van. I mean, you know, Van City Van like Chrome, his is the extended body van, you know, so that's what mine were, extended bodies, and I loved them. I don't like the regular body, too short, but the extended body were great.
You're gonna need the extended body, absolutely.
Yeah.
Unless you are by yourself. No pets, no wife.
LOL, thank you, Leon. I super appreciate it. We'll start posting again when I get another rig. Yeah, Patty's Art in a Van at Blackwell Joe. I had an extended high top and loved it. Lots of room. Now, Patty, let me ask you: did you have a problem with leaking with your high top? Tina Pellegrino, I have an NV 200 Nissan. That's the midsize van, and I love it.
They are beautiful. I know those
Yeah.
200s.
Yeah, the 200s are the midsize van, and then the 25 and 35 are the full size vans.
Yeah, yeah.
Bobtail trucker, the NV 2535 is a solid body, tight and shaped, and yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
That's what I had. Only it was gas, but totally loved it. Yeah. The lady, aka Robin, if I was to ever consider a van with a high top, I would prefer that. But poor the cat lady van got the short end of the stick. Hard top. Yeah, the what I can say about that is the company that installed that high top was not a reputable company, and they did not do it properly. Because I've had high tops. I know people that have had high tops without any leaking issues. So there are reputable companies where you can get high tops installed, but you have to make sure that they know what they're doing and it's done properly. And if they don't, you take it back and you make sure that they fix it properly and do it the correct way. You're paying for it, so you should. It should be done to your specifications.
Absolutely, absolutely. I can agree more. I think something went wrong. Hopefully they're gonna do the right thing in that situation. But
yeah,
something was, installed completely wrong, and that's why.
11 silver bullets. I drove a plumbing van. Was a '90s Ford Econoline with a 460 in it. Thing took a serious beating. Always fired up. Went through snow, mud, job site, and two-wheel drive. Yep, they're just a great platform.
Absolutely. Silver bullet, those 460s was like, and I know somebody who still has one of those.
Yeah.
And that engine still right now rocks.
Yep. Yeah.
Simple,
the old inline 6 and the 460s are just bomb-proof engines from Ford. I mean, you just the 300 inline and the 460 V8, you just can't beat those. They're bomb-proof. Patty said it. The lady, yeah, but hers wasn't factory installed. I think that's where the problems. Yeah, it is. It's the installer, because Ford never did factory high tops. They never came from the factory. They were always sent to an aftermarket place. But you have to make sure you go to the right aftermarket place to get it installed, or you're going to have problems.
Yeah, from what I looked at it when I seen Emmy's van, I can tell you that I could see, kind of like the corners kind of lifting out, the covers and all that. So I figured front and rear that something is wrong, So that's what I said. That top has to come completely off and reinstalled, because just by patching it up, no way.
K9 Gar, I'm not lucky to have a good woman like you, Lauren, so regular extended don't matter. I hope for ambulance or small box to suit my spinal cord. Yeah, it's tough in a regular top, not a high top van. It's tough being on your knees all the time, having to crawl around to get dressed and make food and all that stuff. So
especially
that's some.
Get to the age, like
yeah,
you don't want to be on your knees.
Yeah. Patty says mine never leaked after I refiberglassed the entire roof. Now, did you refiberglass it, or was it a gel coat? Did you re-gel coat it, or did they lay down a whole new fiberglass mat over top of your existing?
Hi, honey. You want to come say hi? Come present yourself. Come on. Come on. Come on.
Hi, everyone.
Hi, everybody. Look who's here. The cook is in the house.
Everybody say hi to Leah.
Oh, you smell like onion. She's cooking. She got home from work, you guys. Patty was asking. Well, here she is. Oh, just say hello.
Hello,
The
guys.
lady. Aka Robin, hello.
Hi.
Hi, Patty.
PA Wilderness.
Hi,
Yep.
Hi, Gar. Hi, Wilderness Adventures. You want to take care of here for a minute so I can run to the washroom?
I'm cooking.
you can click on stop your cam if you want to, if you have go take care of business for a minute.
It's running anyway. I'll
Okay.
be back, you guys.
Okay.
Stay tuned. Don't go anywhere. Don't touch that button.
Yeah. The lady at 59-year-old, I just can't do the kneeling in the vehicle like Chrome. Yeah, the older you get, the harder it is. Let's see. Jeff Mack, if you had to start all over again, what would be your go-to vehicle to start your adventure? For me personally, my go-to would be to start, if I was starting van life, would be to get a mid or high top Ford cargo van, a 250 minimum or a 350, and just put what you need in it and some totes, and go out and see what works, what doesn't work, how it works for you. You can throw a futon mattress on the floor. If you have trouble getting down the floor, you could build a little, you could even put a futon in the back that could fold up and down to make into a couch or a bed, and just start with that and see. But the Econoline platform would be my go-to to start if I was starting adventures now for the first time. We can ask Lauren when he gets back what he would do, but that would be my go-to. That's a long story. I have a 2003 E450 shuttle bus with a 7.3 diesel in it that we sold, and the gal we sold it to was a daughter of a friend who passed away, and we agreed to sell it to her on payments, figuring that she was going to pay us, and she took off out of state with it, and now we're in the process of trying to get it back. And when I get it back, I'm going to fully build it out into an adventure bus and start filming some adventures in it. So I have a 2015 Nissan Titan, but it only has a 5.5 foot bed, and I'm 6'2", so I can't sleep in the bed of that. And we have an RV, a 32-foot RV trailer. It's temporary. I'm not an RV trailer kind of guy. I prefer vans or ambos. If I didn't have the shuttle bus, I would be. I've been looking for an ambo because that is a possibility once I get the shuttle bus back too, to sell it and then buy an ambo and convert the ambo, because I like the fact of having the two front seats where my wife could sit next to me. Where with the shuttle bus, you can't do that. If you're by yourself, it's fine because there's only one seat up front. But if you have a wife or a girlfriend or whatever, to me, it's best to have the two seats up front, like what Lauren has with the ambulance. But yeah, the Econoline platform is what I would start with if I was just starting out.
Cookie lady just said hi to you.
Hello.
So you remember with the bus, the other issue was it wasn't a dedicated front seat.
Yeah.
So I put a front seat there, but it was so awkward because there is no door, so you always had to walk through in the back and all that kind of stuff. That's another problem with those buses. But other than that, it was good.
Yep.
Yeah.
Bruce Jr. I lived the futon bear van life, and honestly, it's great advice. Fill your vehicle out before building. Yeah, you need to know what works for you because you know what you see in Lauren's ambo and what you see in Chrome's van might not work for you at all. I mean, your needs could be completely different. Look at Jeffy Bear; he's in a wheelchair, so his needs are completely different from all the rest of us. Everybody's individual. You can take bits and pieces of what others do, but you need to feel out for yourself how the layout works for you. Do you want your bed to run front to back? Do you want it run side to side? You know, how much closet space, how much storage space, all that kind of stuff. So it's best to do like how Chrome started, and basically all of us started. Throw some totes in. My E150, I took out the center captain's chairs. I had the fold down couch in the back with a futon mattress. I put some plastic totes with my clothes and kitchen stuff in it, and I hit the road. And then I started refining and building what I needed as I saw what worked and what didn't work for me. I got rid of what I didn't need and added to what I did need. That's the best way to get it started.
Yeah, so I think earlier somebody was asking how's Jeffy Bear doing. Jeffy Bear is doing pretty good. Actually, he was on the live stream last night. No, 2 nights ago. I talked to him. He's doing good. I think he's going to Overland Interiors to have his interiors done. If you
That's
guys
what,
here.
yeah, that's what I heard.
Yeah.
The lady Backroads. What about installing a jump? You could install a jump seat, but the way buses are laid out, you can't put them up front because of where the door is and the way the floors are configured. There's a step down from the front driver part to the back bus part, so it's really hard to put a jump seat in that's close to being up front. And with the 7.3 diesels, they're a little bit hard to hear inside unless you put a lot of sound dampening and insulation. So it's you're not having that side to side where people are, you're sitting side by side in a bus. You're having to sit one behind the other, and it works, but it's a little inconvenient. I guess it all depends on how close you are with your significant other. So, but even Lauren can attest to when he had his bus. He likes it better with the ambo where he can have Leah right up front next to him.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. It's way better, this way, you have your dedicated seat. You can see out to your right the same way like I see it to the left, because when they have that half window only there, it's not easy, not comfortable, right?
Yeah, it's not convenient.
Yeah.
Patty says, not only did I refiberglass the entire roof myself, I also removed the old non-working AC unit and rebuilt a third of the roof by myself. Then I wrapped her. Oh, that's very nice. Very nice. Wow. Yeah, great job.
Difference for sure.
K Knight says, Patty, you can work on my next rig. Rachel's Adventures in Live. Yes, he will be going to see Andy. Yeah, I heard the same thing. He's going to be going to see Andy to help him get his van all squared away. Where'd that go? Let's see.
Rachel's Adventure, are you in Ottawa? Any thoughts on swivel seats? Mm-hmm.
That's a big depends. I like swivel seats. If you have a dedicated bed in the back of your van, a swivel seat can be nice for sitting and eating meals, or if you're making videos and editing. If you have people, guests in your van at your campsite, and you want a place for them to be able to join in the conversation. I like swivel seats personally. I know a lot of people have put them in their vans and never used them. So I guess it all depends on how much time you're spending in your interior and what your plans to do in there are. I have even seen where they put a driver's seat and a passenger seat swivel, and then they put a table in between, a pop-in table where they can eat, their meals, and that's their dinette. So, I personally, I like them. I don't know what Lauren's thoughts are, but I really like them.
Yes, the swivel seats are good. So in the bus, I had them. That's what I had in the bus. Both seats was swivel. Even the driver seat was swiveling, and it was good because like sometimes you can just, if it travels a whole bunch in the back, right? You can just recline it, and you can just sit there. And if it's a cold winter and you have sun, it's so beautiful. You can read a book there. You can also eat there, or you can have somebody else sitting in your bench in the back, and you sit back here. You can have a conversation. So yeah, I am for it, 100%. It's well worth it.
Yeah. Do they need to be DOT or CSA certified? Will insurance company cover? The ones that are commercially made, they are DOT certified here in the States. I don't know about Canada.
Yes.
But Lauren can speak to that. But yes, you want to make sure you get DOT or CSA approved swivels. Then they will be covered. It's just like a regular any other seat base. It's just that it swivels. So
Yeah, of course.
Yeah.
Inspected, they've been approved to build it. They have the license for it. They build it, and they market it, right? So yes.
Yeah, and you can find, as a matter of fact, they used to make conversion vans that had swivels in the front. So, like down here, they have salvage yards or pick and pulls that you can go. And I found a lot of parts for my van from other conversion vans. That's my first swivels came out of a wrecked. It was rear-ended. Nothing wrong with the swivels or the seats, and I pulled the swivels out and put them in my van, and they were $25 a piece. Now that's years ago. I'm sure they'd be more now, but so you can even maybe find them a little bit cheaper. But they came from the conversion factory with those swivels in them, so that they're DOT approved.
Yeah, I used to have a 1988 Chevy Ventura, and that used to have swivel seats in it, like a high roof camper van.
Yeah, I say 100% yes on this one, Black Wolf Joe, but not so much. You can't do that in Canada. I know that.
So okay, I can elaborate on you guys. So I am a gun owner, and I can tell you that I can carry a long gun with me anytime. What I cannot carry with me, it's my pistol. Not allowed. Period. But a long gun, when I go out in the bush, obviously I'm not traveling with a gun in the city. But if I go out in the bush, I always take my gun with me. Because, I can put up targets, I can target shoot or this and that, and just have fun. But I never, look, I don't think, in Canada you would ever have to come down to protect yourself against another human being with a gun, That's my anyway.
It's not the first option, no. And I have videos on my channel talking about van life tactics and self-protection if anybody wants to check them out. Lauren just watched one of them the other night. And so, if you want to know more about what things you can do, then I would, go take a look at those. Do you have to claim firearms at the U.S.? Oh, absolutely, delayed. You have to. You can't take them in from the U.S. to Canada. They won't allow them. Period.
Not Canada to US the same way. No way. Not even a bullet, man.
Yeah. No.
Gonna look for the gun.
No accessories, no ammo, none of that stuff. Yeah, will they allow you to take across to Canada or from Canada into the U.S.? Yeah, they have rules about bear spray as well. Yeah.
Absolutely, yes.
See, here where I am, we can carry bear spray in our vehicle and on us. It's completely legal. But if I went to Washington State, absolutely not. You can't. If I went to New York, absolutely not. If it's an anti pew pew state, you can't carry bear spray or pepper spray or any of that stuff. So, all right, we're coming up on 10 minutes left. It'll be 2 hours, and I think we're going to call it a night at that. Just to let you guys know. So if you have any questions within the last 10 minutes, let us know. I got to tell you, this has been a great live. I enjoyed doing this with Lauren, and look forward to doing another one.
I was static anyway, and it was nice to do a collaboration, with my American counterparts.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Patty said, I saw that on your channel years ago. I need a refresher course. Actually, I'm gonna be doing some updated stuff. So hang on for that. I have a bunch of stuff. Carolyn Rivera, thank you for being here. Just tuned in. Glad you're here. Yes.
So obviously, I want to just press a little bit on that. Crossing the border, we do cross a lot. You want to have minimum stuff when you
Yep.
go there. Anything to declare, you can just say no. You are clean. Sometimes they randomly check you. We got checked a couple of times randomly, but when they come in. Okay, sir, have a good day. You want to have minimal stuff in the van when you go. You want to be clean, and
Mhm.
you're gonna have no problems. That's the key, because if they ever find something, man, you are toasted. I'm telling you.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely. Yeah, and Bobtail Trucker said that best advice for crossing the border: take minimal things. Everything can be purchased within reason when you get there. The expense of buying something when you cross the border is little cost to what you're going to go through at the border. If they rip everything out of your vehicle, search everything, they don't put it back. They rip it out, you put it back. So think about the cost to you, time wise, stress wise, and everything else, versus just take the bearings you need and get what you need when you cross, and you'll not have a lot of issue that way. Yes, the lady, that's true. The searching of vehicles are random also. You might just be one they decide to check. Absolutely, you never know, and it's not worth it.
Yep.
Hello, Shane B. Thank you for being here. Appreciate you stopping by. My buddy goes to Alaska and doesn't have too much issue, but lock it up and declare everything, he says. Yeah.
So that's a different story. When you come from the US and you want to go up to Alaska, you have to fill the paperwork out prior to, and you can bring your long gun, not the handgun. They won't allow, you won't be able to cross. But the long rifle that you go hunting or living up there, yes, you can bring it locked up. They will inspect it, make sure that everything is there, make sure you don't have illegal guns in there, and they let you go.
Yeah. And you can also avoid going through Canada and into Alaska if you take the ferry out of Washington. You can bypass the whole Canadian thing. They do still have restrictions on what you can take, but it's not as bad as what the restrictions are going from U.S. into Canada. So there is always that option as well.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
That's when I go to Alaska. That's what I do is I take the ferry, because that way, I can take my stuff, because I'm going from USA to USA land. I'm not going to a foreign country. And as long as you declare stuff, and you're good to go. So, because I lived in Alaska from 2006 to 2007, and I was able to take everything up there in my van without any problem. Yes, always check the laws.
Mm-hmm.
Always check the laws before crossing, because they change.
Important.
Yeah, they change them all the time. So you have to be up to date. What was legal last year might not even be legal this year.
Yeah, I agree.
Have a nightcap on me, guys, and enjoy your night. Best stream ever. Don't forget to hit that like. Thank you, Bobtail Trucker. Appreciate that.
Appreciate it. Yes, thank you.
K9 Gar, I just want to say it was nice chat and to meet Badge. Lauren, you're welcome here anytime. Good man. Yes, Lauren is a good man, and Lee is a good woman.
Respect that.
Yep, Patty. Yep, you have to check every time. Absolutely.
There is good thing up there, my friend K9 Gar.
If we missed any questions, I'm truly sorry. I tried to get to as many of them as I could. So if I missed your question, I apologize. It wasn't because I was being dismissive. There were so many coming in, so many great questions coming in that it might have gotten overlooked.
And I mean, you guys can, always hit me up with the email if you guys have any questions in regards or anything that, I can answer it for you. I'll be more than happy. You guys know that I am always there. I respond. Actually, I'm pretty good responding to emails, maybe within hours, So if you guys have questions, just feel free, ask me. And if you guys want to see something, dedicated video, let me know and I can make something up for you, just like with the use vegetable oil, anything, right? That's why we are here.
Yeah. Thank you, Sakozy. I appreciate that. Yeah, and these streams will be up on our respective channels, so you can leave comments below if you want to rewatch and ask questions. I answer my questions, and I know Lauren does as well. So you can always ask questions in the comments below the video once it's posted. Yeah, I like to help people in the community, especially if you're just getting into this kind of life. I mean, I like to help people get off on the right foot if I can, as much as I can from my experience. And that's why I wanted to do this with Lauren, because he's got a lot of experience. He's an outdoorsman. He's an overlander, an adventurer, mechanic. So, and those are all things that are good when you're doing this lifestyle, is, learning from those that have the experience and can share. So, the lady, aka, I think this was the best live ever. Thank you, appreciate it. I'm glad you enjoyed it.
Much, yeah.
Patty, this was a super good live. Need to do this again. Yeah, I'm
here. Hi, Brian. Welcome, my friend.
Hello, Brian.
First one. Well, congratulations.
Yeah, Patty, that's I was telling Lauren before the live, I'd like to do more of these with them, because it's
Caroline. Hello, I just seen you now. Appreciate you. Thank you for stopping by.
Yeah, it's always good having Badge in the chat too, because he's a wealth of knowledge. I mean, that guy is he's forgotten more about diesel mechanics than I've ever known, and I've been wrenching on diesels for over 30 years, and that guy still has a wealth of knowledge. I learn stuff from him every time I'm around him. So.
Oh yeah, Badge.
Yeah, Badge. Yeah. Carolyn's waving at you. First, all safety, health, and light. Thank you, K9. PA Wilderness. Yeah, we got about 2 minutes left. Good night. Yeah, thank you all for being here. Appreciate it. Yeah, let's see if we can get those. There's the heart. Yeah. There's more.
Mine doesn't want to work. Come on.
There's the thumbs up.
Where is my camera? Come on.
There's the other. Try it back towards your shirt and see if it'll do it.
No, thumb up goes. Come on.
Huge fan of low lease and chrome and all the adventures. I'll be out there soon. Cool, Brian. That's really cool.
Yeah, absolutely.
Nighty night, everybody. Be safe. All right, we've got
Sue Bishop. Thanks for stopping by. We love you.
Got about 45 seconds left.
The lady Robin. Thank you. Appreciate you.
Double V's, like Cruzy's dad says. Yeah. There it goes.
Oh, thank you.
There you go.
There we are.
Yeah.
Thanks, Patty, for the tip. That was for you, Caroline.
There's left thumbs up. Let's see, get the right thumbs up. There it is. All right.
Oh, Van City Van Life, double V up. Oh, hey, bro, how you doing?
Van City Van Life in the house. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, Welcome.
Yeah. Caught the tail end there, Chrome. Speaking of Chrome, yeah, K9 Chrome is in the house. Yeah. Speaking of Cruzy and Chrome earlier, and Chrome's van, and so
Yeah, he was just wondering when am I gonna go over. So
yeah.
yeah,
So
double V, double V.
I was lurking for a bit, so he was lurking in the chat. Okay. That's cool. That's cool. All right. Well, everybody, it's now the witching hour, 9 o'clock Mountain Time, 8 o'clock
Hey,
in
thanks everyone for coming.
Lovely's time.
Appreciate it.
Yeah, can't wait to see the new engine running. Yeah, looking forward to seeing that engine running. So, y'all have a good night. And since Chrome's in the house, throw up the double V's. Get you some Loli's t-shirts like he's wearing there. And
Not yet.
yeah, when his website's up. So
Yeah.
we'll see you on the next one. And yeah,
7 p.m. there. Well, 90. Thanks for stopping by. Night, everyone. Appreciate it. I'll see you in the next one.
y'all have a good night.
Yes. You too, my friend.